YouTube vinyl community, Gerry and the Pacemakers fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the debut Canadian album from Gerry and the Pacemakers, I'm the One, released on Capitol, the 6000 series. I love this cover. It's so cool. Just rocking out, holding on to that guitar for dear life. Gerry and the Pacemakers are a band that I think for a lot of people, especially growing up with the oldies radio station like I did, they're a part of your DNA. They're just as impressive and as influential as like the Zombies or the Beatles or the Dave Clark Five. Any of this British invasion stuff that you encountered as a kid, I think stays with you forever, and those sounds are just so ingrained in your brain. And what's funny about this band too is that they had a bunch of albums, but over here in America, they're really only known for like 3 or 4 songs. And diving into one of their albums was a lot of fun because you get to hear them kind of grow a little bit, expand a little bit on their sound, and get an idea of what would have been like to be on a show from these guys, because they were right up there in terms of popularity with the Beatles in the early 60s. Like, they were a humongous band, so to have been there at the time must have been absolutely a lot of fun, and playing this album all the way through was a lot of fun. They kind of took elements, they kind of did what they always do over here in North America with the original English album, and then broke it up and added singles and stuff like that. So how do you do it? I like it. You know, those songs weren't on the original release of what would have been the English equivalent back in the day. They could have made their own album here for the debut, kind of like Meet the Beatles over here in America. This came out in May of 1964. Tony Barrow did the liner notes in the back, which are really informative. Just gives you a good overview of the guys at the time, telling you basically what their story was playing in Hamburg and coming back to Liverpool, playing with the Beatles. You know, the whole gang was together, if you will. But this is a fun album and something I'm really, really stoked to talk about. So it opens up with How Do You Do It, which is a song that was most famously given to the Beatles and said, hey, could you do this? And they were like, well, actually rewrote Please Please Me instead. And they were like, oh, all right, we'll try that out. So this song had been around for a while, and they knew it was going to be a hit when it was given to the Beatles. They knew it was a surefire hit. So when it got to Gerry the Pacemakers, it obviously was a gigantic hit. It is a super spry, upbeat, articulate, focused, straight to the point pop rock number. And Gerry's voice is just like lilting on the top of it. The drums are super expressive. The really chimey guitars. It is a pop hit. There's no doubt about it. It's catchy. It's infectious. It instantly stays in your head. It's to the point. It's just a good little song. So a great way to open this album up. Then you get a shot of Rhythm and Blues, which is a song that everybody was doing at that time. The Beatles did it on their BBC album. And I really like this version because it's a little more of a groover. I mean, it's obviously a sing-along type of song no matter who does it, but the guitar solo on it is great, and I love just the build-up of the instruments here, because they kind of introduce the instruments, kind of like what the Beach Boys did with Little Deuce Coupe Live back in the day. Jambalaya is up next, and I really like the rubbery guitar solo on this one. I think it's cool, but Gerry holds down the vocals so well in this one. And it's funny playing this album all the way through because you don't realize how much of this band is just Gerry vocally. Very few times do they have other guys singing with him. It's mostly just him. And this song is a great example of his dynamics vocally. Really good track. Here's Hoping comes up next, and I like the changes on this one. Really fun vocal line with this, really propulsive rhythm. The drums on this one I think are great. The cymbal work is fun. It's just a good bouncy little song. Pretend, it's not bad, not my favorite on here. I like the drum shuffle work on this one too. I think it's I Like It, which is just a fantastic song, a really big hit for them. Insanely catchy, just an instant earworm. Gerry's vocals are super peppy and really spirited and wonderful. The chord changes are good. You can just tell this song was just ripe for radio play. And it was a humongous song. And side one ends with Summertime, which is a song that, again, everybody did the Gershwin song here. It's fine. You know, I've heard this song, I think, so many times, and I'm probably a little bit burned out on it at this point, but it was definitely a standard of its time. Side 2 opens up with I'm the One, which is what the album is named after. Hey, that's the name of the album. This song is great. The drums pop like crazy. I think the piano accents are a really good touch to give it some dynamics. The background vocals, finally we got some background vocals. They're great. It's just a great, poppy, fun little song. And then you get You'll Never Walk Alone, which is, I mean, what can you say about this thing? It's the old standard there, if you will, too. But Gerry's voice on this is absolutely remarkable. The emotion, the soul, the tension, the anxiety in this song that he puts in. The whole thing is just a commanding performance, and rightly so. I mean, it's one of their most famous songs to this day. But the string arrangements on it are equally as touching and beautiful, and everything plays together so well to create this super moving moment for them. Definitely a knockout of a song for sure, and something I think they'll always be remembered for. The Wrong Yo-Yo. Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. Back to the upbeat rock and stuff. Kind of a classic rocker, get the crowd dancing again. Nothing pretty crazy to that one. Good bass work on it, though. You're the Reason. This is one of my favorite songs on the album, actually. One of my favorite songs by them in general. I just love the lyrics here. You know, it's a super sweet song. It's energetic. It's bouncy. It's a great little song about, like, hey, you know, you're the reason why I can't sleep, or you're the reason why I'm out playing my guitar in the middle of the night. I just like the sentiment to it. It's fun. Chills, fun little rocker in this one. Gerry does some high vocal stuff, which is pretty cool. Excellent background vocals on this one too. Don't You Ever, love that guitar work, and the drum riff on this is solid. Just a really well performed song. And then you get to Slow Down, which again, everyone did this one too, but their version is really, really good. So there's not much to say about this album beyond that. It was their first album in Canada. It's kind of like How Do You Do It, the album that came out proper in England. They took off Maybelline, Where Have You Been, You Can't Fool Me, and they added on How Do You Do It, I Like It, and I'm the One. Brian Epstein, this was the second band that he signed, and this is, produced by George Martin. How Do You Do It went to #1 in the UK, but yeah, this came out in mono only in Canada in May of 1964. Here's the back cover. And I'll show you the label. The classic Capitol color band label. But I do like that it says recorded in Great Britain on there, which I think is pretty nice. Yeah. So cool. So that's it. Gerry and the Pacemakers, I'm the One, featuring You'll Never Walk Alone, How Do You Do It, I Like It, and 10 others. A great little album from Canada, their debut up there. It's fun. For me, I'm going to probably give it like a 7 out of 10. The only reason being that a lot of the songs do kind of sound the same, but that's just how it was back then. The beat groups had that sound, and that was it. You put it on to dance to it at parties, and you enjoyed every song. It wasn't meant to be anything deeper than that. It was just, you put it on, you have fun, and you enjoy it. Simple as that. So, I mean, for a straight-up rock and roll album, it's great. I think a 7 or 8 is pretty solid for these guys, but yeah. Really underrated band these days, I'd say. Obviously way more popular back in the 60s, but yeah, great little group. Gerry and the Pacemakers, I'm the One. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about this album as well, and what you would give it as a score. But that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been Gerry and the Pacemakers. Thank you so much for watching again, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.